We move away from Turkey, where Lewis Hamilton was crowned a 7-time champion, to the deserts of Bahrain. Welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit for the first of a double back-to-back. This championship has already been wrapped up, but with 3 races to go, there's still a lot to be decided. Bahrain this weekend, Shakir on the outer loop next weekend. 2 weeks' time, the season rounds out in Abu Dhabi. Lewis Hamilton may be the world champion. Valtteri Bottas still just about confirmed in second, with Max Verstappen in third, but the battle over 4th place is still hotting up. Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo, Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, Alexander Albon, Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll all stand a chance of being in the 4th place position. On the second page, Lance Stroll leads on 59 points, Ocon on 40, Vettel 33, Kvyat, Hülkenberg still in 15th, ties at Alfa Romeo, Raikkonen and Giovinazzi on 4, Grosjean 2, Magnussen 1, and no points for Latifi or Russell. In the Constructors' Championship as well, we see Mercedes leading and the champions are 504 points. But the battle for third hotting up. Racing Point 154, McLaren 149, Renault 136 and Ferrari 130. That battle for third is still there. And of course, Alfa Romeo on 8, Haas on 3, Williams still with no points. It's the Bahrain Grand Prix at the International Circuit in Shakir, and this is first practice. Let's take a look around the Shakir circuit, the Bahrain International Circuit, 3.362 miles, 15 turns, 3 DRS zones, and an elevation change high at 40 metres. It is the trickiest circuit on the calendar in terms of constant time. Start the lap now! Already in 8th gear, flat out on the overtake button. Maximum fuel usage as you hit the first real heavy braking zone on the track. Down to 2nd gear for the right-handed turn 2. Left as well, up the hill towards turn number 4. Open up the DRS zone for the first time. Now swoop round turn number 4. Now don't go for the apex all the time. Let the car drift out as you get the better run through 5, 6 and 7. Jump the curbs a little bit into the braking zone 9 of turn 8. Really heavy, really put the power down through 2nd gear. Now turns 9 and 10. The trickiest corners on the track. A double left whilst braking. Turn 10, hardest to crack. Go for the outside wider line. You get a straighter one for the 2nd DRS detection point on the run down the national straights towards turn number 11. Flick the car into the left, put the power down mid-apex to drift you out wide through 12 and into turn 13, my favourite part of the track. Get too much on the curves, the car will spin you round. Into 14 now, quick flick to the left before opening up the DRS once again, and straight down now, under the sand dunes as well, into turn number 15 and 16. The really 2 last braking points on the track. Flick the car into the left, the little corner there counts as the last corner, flat out to the line, DRS open again in the first zone, and that is a lap of the Bahrain International Circuit. And welcome up to the commentary box for the first practice session for the 2020 Bahrain Grand Prix. Alongside me in the commentary box once again is Ian Birch. Good afternoon, Dad. Oh, it's good morning, isn't it? What is it? 10:54 UK time. Afternoon in Bahrain. But we're all set. The last 3 races of the year. And it is cold in the desert and it's cold in our UK studio as well. Good morning.
It's raining in Bahrain.
It is. Rain in Bahrain. You'd never have guessed it, would you? But the clouds have come in. It's dark almost. It's going to be interesting that they've actually had to turn the floodlights on for practice 1, I'm understanding, because it's that dark. There's a lot of interesting things going on down at Mercedes and Ferrari at the moment as we get ready to cross over to the feed for the radio, but at the moment it's going to be interesting today because practice 1 doesn't really mean anything compared to practice 2 and qualifying.
Because of the fact the lights are out?
Yes, precisely. It's a night race and this one's a day race, so it's different in terms of everything you could possibly imagine. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. Let's just check. So it's going to be very Yeah, that we're not actually echoing. That's a problem we had on the stream for the esports a couple of weeks ago. So get in touch.
That's
with our
okay.
questions
That's
open.
okay. That's okay.
Yeah, that's your echo. Get in touch. We've got questions
Bye,
throughout.
bye, 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 bye.
Got a lot to talk about in this first session.
Yes, we have.
As we welcome our radio viewers into the deserts of Bahrain. The last 3 races of 2020 begin now, all in desert. In the Gulf state, the Middle East welcomes back Formula One, the first of 3 races in 4 months here at the Bahrain International Circuit. It plays host to round 15 and 16 of this year's calendar and the second round of the 2021 calendar. It's 214 miles an hour, average speed of 137, 3 DRS zones, 17.3 metre elevation changes, 15 turns, although the drivers only feel about 10 of them. And down in 2019 in the first corner, Vettel versus Leclerc, almost doing what Hamilton versus Rosberg did in 2014. Up at the 4th turn as well, Vettel versus Hamilton. Hamilton right round the outside, Sebastian Vettel under acceleration, spinning round. We saw similar in the Formula 2 race. And down at turn 11, Giovinazzi versus Kvyat almost came together and then did the next lap, spinning round Kvyat. Also, Sebastian Vettel having a wing failure at the same point. 3 tyre compounds this weekend. Also, the soft, the medium and the hard as usual. The soft is the C4, the medium the C3 and the hard is the C2. But it's damp out there, so expect to see the green intermediate tyres. And if we need it, in the middle of a desert, the blue full wet tyres. It's windy. The flag of Bahrain can tell us that, but Ian Birch alongside me in the commentary box. It's only 26-degree track temperature. It's just clicked over down to 27, but the rain's on its way and practice 1 isn't as useful as practice 2.
People think there's no rain in the desert, but what happens with these trees? There's got to be rain in the desert. Unfortunately, the rain seems to be following Formula 1 around a minute.
Yeah.
This is ideal conditions. People say it doesn't reflect what they have to do on the qualifying and in practice 1, 2, and 3 because it's not dark. Yeah, but you still got to get used to the track. You get a lot of useful deltas and you know everybody works out where they can brake, where they can't.
Yeah.
Interesting. Roman Grosjean was saying that it's better when it's dark because
It is. I found that, yeah.
There was a situation in Turkey where, as the sun went down, the visors, they had the wrong style of visor on, and
we've had that before,
and
haven't we?
that they were getting a lot of sun right deep in their eyes as it was setting. You don't have that here when it's the race under the lights because the lights are strategically positioned
to get
so
away
that
from
they
your
don't
eyes.
put glare onto the drivers' faces. They seem to like the track over the years. This year it's a bit of an anticlimax, but I don't think Lewis will back off.
There was a rumour he would, but he doesn't seem to be, which is great news for the sport.
Well, he's been playing tennis in midweek with his dad, and he lost. So
Yes, I did see that actually. Yeah,
his dad won with a drop shot. You know, Lewis was waiting for the return, and he just dropped it over the net. It was quite good actually.
it was quite a good manoeuvre. I'm not saying anything, but Morris, I've seen Morris play over the years. I'm sure you have as well. He's actually very, very good. So there's no discounting.
So is Rachel.
Rachel Brooks, yeah, even better.
Used to be a tennis player.
As we just see, we're just getting everything ready as the green flag is about to come out in round about.
There are some funny,
15 seconds,
interesting
15.
things
Yes, go on.
coming up. Right. There are rumours that Lewis will be knighted for his 7-time championship.
Yes, arise, Sir Lewis Hamilton.
So
Yeah.
does that mean we've got to call Danny Ricciardo the Duchess?
I would say you probably do have
Because
to call Ricardo the Duchess.
he says if he has to, he will call him Sir Lewis.
I'm not surprised, actually.
You see, the Queen gets lists every year from the governments of her in the Commonwealth countries, asking, you know, who
should be knighted,
who
yeah.
should be like, you know, telling her who they recommend for knighthoods and things like that. So it's you know, some quite low down figures in Australia have got it before. So why not Danny, who is quite popular?
The green light is on, and the session
Just
is
because he's
underway.
never achieved anything.
Yeah, but Ricardo's more...
Except entertaining us.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I was going to say.
having a good laugh.
He's provided us certainly a lot of entertainment.
He's in the wrong
over
car.
years. Well, he's in the McLaren next year, and that should be quite something interesting.
If Danny keeps on going how he has done, he's improved each car he's been at.
Yeah, he's going to improve massively the McLaren. Yeah.
I just want to ask you a question because
I've
got this little thing, this voting form here. It's
You're right,
from the FIA.
Yes.
And it's asking me to nominate the most careful driver of the season in motorsport. Now I've got 3 names here, and I can't decide which one. Now, should I go with Magnussen, Grosjean, but my favourite, Dan Ticktum?
Oh, well, I think Dan should win that one.
Shall I vote for Dan Ticktum?
Yeah, Ticktum should probably win the most careful driver of the year award at the moment. I just clicked on the video you got here eventually. Oh, sorry, Gwenwyn. Welcome. Good morning to Gwenwyn as well. Yeah, we had to do a test because we had a massive problem.
1, 5, 6, 7, 2.
Yeah, we had a massive problem a couple of days ago with esports,
4914.
so we had to test the
No,
broadcast.
that's not the number from what was the number?
I don't know,
2491
2491
from Victor Meldrew.
Oh, have you been watching that again?
Of course I have. You bought me some actually years ago.
I did. I remember that.
Yeah.
As I'm just having to
I'll tell you what I was watching last night.
Yeah.
BritBox has just dropped a load of Christmas corries from the last 60 years because they're 60 years old. And I was watching one from 1961, my first Christmas.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, is that the one with the tram crash?
No. The tram crash was
60s.
you were born.
No, they did 2.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Enos Sharples was trapped under the viaduct.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because it's just exactly where the restaurant is now.
I'm just checking, by the way, for other people so they can get here.
I've gone to the second bit of this, right? Who do you, and this is a serious one, really serious one, right? Driver of the year is obviously going to be Lewis.
Lewis will get driver of the year. Yeah.
7-time world champion. You know, it was lovely to see Sebastian leaning over into the cockpit at the end of the race and congratulating him and saying, "You've got to remember what an achievement this is." But I don't know. You know, it's obviously going to be it's got to be Lewis for driver of the year.
Lewis driver of the year, although they don't just consider Formula One with the FIA, they consider World Rally Sport, World Endurance Championship, and
a certain person has just won his 7th super bike championship.
Yeah. I don't know who won the Superbike Championship. Oh yes, I know.
Was it Lewis?
No, it was Jonathan Ray.
Jonathan Ray. Johnny Ray.
He just won.
There's a song. Johnny Ray.
One ball with Hamilton now, just coming into the back half of the circuit, down towards that tricky turn 11 braking spot.
You see, I don't think Lewis is going to back off. He made that mistake with Nico, and
Lewis made the mistake with Nico back in 2015, and then it just...
We got copyrighted. No one would copyright this.
Oh, no. Okay, Gwenwyn's asking why there was... Well, I'll explain just quickly.
We've been copyrighted?
No. Basically, what happened was...
it used to be Tipex when I was a kid.
Hang on a second. What happened was I do an esports on BBB Racing on Twitch, and we've had massive problems with it. So the broadcasting software we use for this as well is the same. And the microphone tended to echo. So I had to check that the stream was correct for this.
Echo.
About 10 minutes before I did a test live stream, and it was just that deleted. So don't worry, we're still here, we're all fine. As we've got practice one underway.
So don't be confused because of the fact that Joshua doesn't confuse anybody or everybody all the time.
So Lando Norris is out on the circuit at the moment. He's on a test run.
Your esport thing, there's only one bit of equipment in this area that is different, right? And that is the equipment that plays the game.
Yeah, the capture card
to do.
Yeah, the capture card.
And on the capture card. So it's got to be something to do with that, the problem.
No, the problem has been with the internet issues, as we have it here as well, because it all comes through the bus mixer. Lando Norris out on the circuit then at the moment. He's just coming down towards turn 11 on the back half of the circuit. Now, all the teams at the moment are out on the 2021 Pirelli tyres. Now, these are the experimental tyres. Because there's no postseason test due to the COVID-19 restrictions, Pirelli have been granted by the FIA permission to put these tyres on at the circuit and run them in practice 1. So it gives a little bit of meaning to this first practice session, considering we're usually, as you explained earlier on, practice 1 and practice 3 sessions at night races tend to take part in the daytime, and data gathering is not that crucial. So we'll have a lot more action in FP2 and a lot more action in FP1 with these tyres. Practice 3 tomorrow's going to be boring for Megan, though.
It might help, actually, that it's cooler there at the moment, because that's more representative of the night time.
Yes, it is, yeah. Roy Nazani is out on the track at the moment in the Williams. He is part of the Friday Driver Programme. Also taking part is Robert Kubica in place for Kimi Räikkönen.
Has Roy been on before? He has, hasn't he?
Roy's been on before, yeah. Last time I think it's Styria.
Roy the boy, he's 25 years old, and as you see, he's from Tel Aviv in Israel. It's lovely to see drivers from countries that are not usually Formula One hotspots coming through, like Roy. It's
also his second session in about half an hour, because he was just out in the Formula 2 cars before those sessions started.
I just want to know, I know he's from Israel and things like that, but was Nissani, we used to have a Nissani.
Yes, yeah.
Is that his dad or his uncle?
It's his dad, yeah.
And he was from London.
Yes, yeah. It's another one like Alexander Albon, but races under the Israeli flag
that's
as well.
The same with Albon. If he wants to do that, he wants to do that, right? Her Majesty the Queen has sent us a message.
Oh.
Tell Joshua that if he wants a present this year, that stop having a go at the apple juice.
Already got it. It's in the side of the comment box. I knew you were going with that, so I left it in there.
Yeah,
from the other day. I knew you were going to go with that one. First Israeli driver since the first ever test driver, at least anyway. Yeah, the first Israeli driver.
But as we said, his dad isn't. You know, it's just one of those things. Well, his dad's got the relevant. Like Israel offers to anybody who qualifies their passport, a bit like the Irish. Sad to see, we've got a local reporter on Calendar, our local news broadcast on ITV. And she's done, with Andy Townsend, done a great documentary this week on her grandfather, Sir Jack Charlton, who recently died. Yeah. And the strange thing was,
just having a radio from Pierre Gasly at the moment to interrupt it is because something on Pierre Gasly's car on his... Oh, hello, Charles Leclerc and Ferrari.
He's got a radio. He's got one of those lights that is measuring the up and downness of the rear of the car.
Yeah.
The suspension. It's we've seen it before. We go back 3 years to the last time we saw this. It's not often used, but that's what it. But at this circuit, it could be that it is interfering with the driver behind. So they might have to come in and take that off.
I don't, because it looks like a bright torch of a white light at the back of that Ferrari of Leclerc, so that's not exactly brilliant. And yes, Roy Nazani, son of Chano Nazani, who was born in Israel but does live in London, as Dad was saying as well.
He lived in London.
He was the Minardi driver who replaced Christian Albers as well, so we have had a Nazani before. But Roy Nazani, born, as you said, in Tel Aviv in Israel, and he's 25 years old. He's just been racing in the Formula 2 Championship before the session started.
So he's actually born in Tel Aviv.
Yes.
A bit like in the old days, you used to, if you were from Yorkshire and you wanted your son to play cricket for Yorkshire, you would race your wife across the border so that she gave birth in Yorkshire.
Yeah, that happened a lot, didn't it?
I know, it was just going on about the great Jack Charlton, who was one of the honorary director of our local football club, along with Laurie McMenemy and Emma Wilkinson, or is it Emma? It's Emma Wilkinson's documentary about her grandfather. And at the end of it, we found out that, the Busby Babe, who was his number 2 for most of his professional career as a manager, Maurice Setters, he died as well. So that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maurice was 80. He was a Busby Babe, right? He was one of the ones that... He came in the early 60s to Manchester United. He played about 150 games for Manchester United. A lot of people forget that after the crash, a lot of the youth team became all of a sudden, the first team. And Morris came a couple of years after that, but he was part of that great 60s team for Manchester United, which everybody in this country admired, from the mid 50s all the way up to things. What they're doing now is up to them.
As you can tell, we're having to fill a little bit because no cars on the track.
Well, we've got quite a few cars on track, but they're all on outlaps.
Yeah, and Albon's had his lap time deleted for being off track, and this is Esteban Ocon. They've all got, as Ocon saying that he's spinning a lot in the corners with oversteer.
In the F2 practice session that's just gone on, Callum and Mick really held back, didn't they?
They did a lot, yeah.
Callum is slightly behind Mick in the timings, but also none of them have actually driven that car for about 2 months.
Since Mugello, which was around about 2-3 months ago, wasn't it? October, November. Yeah, so since early September, they haven't raced since Mugello. So it's really a long time just to be out of a car.
Right. If you all want to ask things, there was an interesting thing being said, and I thought it was really interesting. Right. We all know that Sebastian and Lewis, who now represent 11 championships
apiece,
between the two of them. Once they and Raikkonen go out of Formula One, so there's 12 championships, which will happen in the next few years. I mean,
Lewis only signed one.
Lewis is saying that by the time the salary cap comes in, he won't be there.
That's 2023, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's coming
I've just remembered something else that was quite funny.
You can pick that up in a second, yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of them things that you start to realise that the the elder drivers. I mean, we're losing Grosjean. Thankfully, 5 years after he should have gone.
Grosjean's, I think, off to World Endurance.
Ricardo.
Magnussen's off to
Magnussen's
IMSA.
off as well, but he's not an older driver, really.
No, he's off to the IMSA series, driving for Chip Ganassi in their LMPH.
So here's a question for everybody.
Oh, this is brave.
Right. Who do you think will take over as the dominant driver? Because I can't see one.
At Haas. Or in
No,
Formula
everywhere.
One. Oh,
I
know,
can't see one at the moment.
The obvious go would be Verstappen, but I think last time out in Turkey it proved Verstappen is nowhere near ready. He was spinning too much.
And
Leclerc's
he was
aggressive
making too many mistakes.
Leclerc.
The reason I'm asking about this is because in MotoGP, we haven't had the great Marquez this year, and it's been a situation where the guy that won the championship actually only won one race,
and that was the weekend before he won the title.
Nobody dominant. We've had 9, if not 10 drivers. It's 9, isn't it?
9, yeah. Crutchlow could have been the 10th. It was 9 winners, yeah.
9 winners this year.
Yes, great win. Yes, once Vettel and Lewis go out.
Everyone keeps asking, why can't you? Alonso.
That's a go through from
that is good. Alonso.
Alonso's coming back, but he's in a Renault, and that Renault's just coming good. That's a good shout. Could Alonso
everybody, including Liberty, want the situation to arise that it's much more even in Formula One.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, age will take some of the best drivers out of it, and I don't think I'm gonna stick my neck out here.
Who are you going to put? Go on.
Norris.
Yeah. I was just about to say.
Lando might even land a McLaren job. Mercedes job.
I was thinking that if
Lando might do because I'll tell you what, I've known that kid race since he was about 13 or 14 years old, right? And George Russell as well.
I was thinking Russell, yeah.
But George has got to prove himself in a better car. But Lando. I think Lando really will shine. I think it's make or break when they do lose the top drivers for Verstappen, because although he showed it earlier on and he showed it in patches this year, right?
It's still a lot.
He's a bit like a
championship
footballer rather than a top Premiership footballer at the moment.
It's like you put him in.
You know he can do it, but is he consistent enough?
You put him in when you need a penalty. You don't put him in all the time.
Lando and Sainz get so much out of the cars George Russell,
I think it's those three, isn't it?
Yeah, George Russell, yeah.
Gasly, I think Gasly's win in Monza, he held off Sainz quite well. But Gasly is very much... Gasly and Kvyat are very much on their last chances at AlphaTauri. I know Gasly signed for 2021, but it's only a one-year contract. Whether they put him back in to replace Albon in 22, I'm not sure. But I don't think Albon's going to be in Formula One next year, sadly.
There's that many outlets now that pay good money.
Yeah.
And so you can see quite a few of these. I mean, I know that Alfa Romeo have managed to get Raikkonen. They're staying on for another year because they rent their team off Peter Sauber.
Yes, so it's still Sauber, but it's under the Alfa Romeo name.
Yeah, they've decided to rent it for another year.
And that keeps Giovinazzi in a seat.
Yeah, and Raikkonen going for another year.
Yeah. Which I think that sort of held up the driver market a lot because that should have been really Schumacher and Schwartzman going in.
Yeah.
With that lot off to Haas.
Some of the youngsters... It's like in present football. The England football team might not be able to beat Belgium, but who can beat Belgium at the moment? But they're up there in the top 5.
Yeah.
Right? Because of the fact that Gareth has got all these great youngsters coming through that have come through into their own football teams that they play for week in and week out. After doing so well in things like was it the under-19s and the under-21s won? No, the under-21s came second, but the under-19s and the under-18s won their own World Cups, didn't they? About last year or the year before, and
it's a question.
We have a lot of what are now mediocre drivers coming through, right? Stroll is an example of a mediocre driver who's come through, and he's doing really well.
He could have won last time out. I said it in the commentary as well. It turned out what happened with Stroll was the reason he lost so much time after his pit stop. There was a barge board that had come loose underneath his car. It was just costing him time everywhere around the lap.
So is Magnussen going to a NASCAR type thing?
No,
because most of the ones that.
IMSA. It's IMSA. It's sort of like World Endurance, but in America. So it's the IMSA series. They do the Rolex 24 Daytona.
I get it, World Endurance is a great outlet for ex-Formula One drivers.
I was surprised none of them have gone to Formula E. I know Grosjean's looking at it, but the season starts in January, so it's not a lot of turnaround. Grosjean, I believe you might just be on about Jimmy Johnson, who's moved over from NASCAR, a 7-time champion in NASCAR, over to IndyCar for 2021 at selected races.
IndyCar are having trouble at the moment. The IndyCar Lights program have not produced enough drivers to replace the ones, and so they have started looking at Formula One and other
NASCAR,
and WEC for drivers. And NASCAR has always been like in the United States. If you drive NASCAR, it's because you finished on IndyCar. But now,
it seems to be rotating.
The 4 things: Indy Lights, NASCAR Junior Series, and that.
The Cup Series, the Truck Series, and
are all producing some good drivers, but they're not getting through to IndyCar. The ones that are usually foreign.
Right? Pagenaud, French, who's won the championship and the Indy 500. Yeah. Sato coming in, won the 500 this year.
And of the youngsters, the Pat O'Rourke.
Pat O'Ward and...
I thought it was Ward. Is it?
Pat
O'Ward,
Pat O'Ward,
isn't it?
and the other one alongside him is Oliver Askew, who's British.
That's because he got a ride because McLaren went in with someone else to be the thing.
I think this question is, do you think we will find another super driver first or the next super team principal first, the Toto role?
The team principal. I'll tell you, the best quote of the week is... who's the guy that's at used to be Toro Rosso, Franz Tost.
Franz Tost, who's still
right.
Toro. Yeah.
Lewis was asked about a comment that Franz Tost has made, and he went, "Who?" And he goes, the guy at the team principal at
AlphaTauri, yeah.
And he went, oh, yeah, well, yeah.
Doesn't know who he is.
He didn't know who he was.
And Franz Tost been in the paddock for years, just like Gunther Steiner as well. Gunther Steiner worked at Jaguar, that became Red Bull, then he moved on to Haas.
Which suggests that although he watches a lot of action from the track, he doesn't actually watch the broadcast.
Yeah, he doesn't watch he just probably watches without the commentary.
Or
to be fair.
He was just trying to make a batter ball back.
Probably.
Yeah. There's Georgie Russell.
Russell out of the car at the moment, and this isn't really going to affect George Russell that much. I think that's why we're seeing a lot of the drivers in this first session that aren't usually like Roy Nizani and Robert Kubica, because it's not going to affect Raikkonen or Russell one bit. It's a damp track. It's in the daylight. It's a night race. It's not going to affect them one bit.
What is left though to race for?
Yeah. Well, for George Russell. Well,
for anybody.
I'm very surprised at this fact, and I keep saying it every time we do the calendar at the beginning of the show. Neither Latifi or Russell have scored a point this year, but we've been harking Russell's performance with fantastic qualifyings. They haven't got the race pace.
Right. You're at Goodwood and you're driving an old Mini, and you've got Jaguars and big American cars. What are the American cars? They're not Mustangs. There's some Mustangs, but
there's Mustangs,
Galaxy.
Galaxies,
the big Galaxy, which was a great racing car.
Yeah.
And but these are like massive V8s against a Mini.
Yeah.
And you see and yet the Mini,
because it's smaller.
It's smaller and lighter.
More powerful engine in it, just about.
And yet the driver that's behind it, which was Seddon this year, gets so much out of that little car. That's what we're saying here with George Russell. George Russell is doing something that the other drivers appreciate he has done, which is he's driving a duck.
Yeah.
And like he is driving that so well that he's overperforming the ability of the car to not just a small extent, but to get into Q2 with that car, because it is a real lame duck. It's absolutely brilliant that he gets into Q2. And him and Latifi are dragging that car around in the race. Yeah. And they're not doing that bad, actually.
They're not. They're doing quite well.
In the last 6 months, they've got that car from being 6 seconds behind
to Q2, as you say.
to lap him pretty well.
I think next season we're going to see a big improvement from Williams as well. Just who do you think? I don't know which one's going to come first. A super driver or super team principal. I think Toto's staying on for another year at least.
Oh, Ferrari going into an American competition. Which one?
IndyCar.
Ferrari are going into IndyCar?
They've been very serious with
it.
But
is that the Chrysler Fiat link up?
Must be because
Chrysler did not do well in IndyCar.
I think the reason Ferrari...
Chrysler are more a NASCAR thing.
They are, yeah. I think Ferrari are only going in there because there's the cost cap coming in for Formula One as early as next season. And Ferrari can't lay off half its staff, so it needs another racing series. They already do work.
In the parade yesterday, there was Ronald McDonald was driving basically a car shoe. Right?
It's basically what Ferrari is driving this year, to be fair.
That's what, I think Ronald McDonald would be at Ferrari. IndyCar is complex, right? It's about oval and it's about racetracks like our British touring cars would go on, and occasionally Formula One style tracks.
COTA and Indianapolis.
Yeah,
on the road course. I mean that is, but yeah, it's more.
So you've got to develop a car that does all these things. I don't see the point if they're going in for it. That's to put their name in the American market, because all cars are not selling at the moment, but the prestige models are not selling at all.
It's weird because they've done the reverse actually of what Ford did in the 1960s. To go to beat Ferrari at Le Mans, the American company took them on, but now Ferrari are finding themselves they're going to have to go over to America to keep their money up and beat.
And to be honest,
Honda and Chevy.
As I've told you before, it's a little known fact that the way Chrysler Fiat operate their Formula One team, the Ferrari Formula One team, is that, and the Alfa Romeo was different,
Yeah.
but because they acquired the Fiat as well, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They're all the same
but
brand.
the Ferrari Formula One team has always been the profit from the selling of the cars, the Ferrari cars, is largely used to operate the Ferrari Formula One team.
Yeah.
Now, I can see the point. Oh, yeah, we need money. Let's go into America. Let's try things. But there'll be a dog. McLaren
Took them 3 years.
McLaren had to abandon being on their own and go with an
it
extensive
was Schmidt-Peterson,
extensive knowledge of them at Smith-Peterson. So
get over to being anywhere near competitive. I mean, I think they've won one race this last season, didn't they?
I know you can buy a car off the shelf, right? McLaren did, and Alonso didn't do very well with it.
Yeah, they couldn't
Broke
even
down
qualify
before the end of the race.
Yeah, and they couldn't qualify. Either,
that's right. They didn't go with the one
First
off the
time,
shelf. They
it broke, didn't it?
It broke.
Well, that's
because
the
you
thing.
don't have the expertise.
Yeah.
Because you're not going into a champion in America, right? IndyCar is the beast,
Yeah.
right? Next to football, American football, it is the major sport,
And then it's in NASCAR sort of slipped away. in the
right?
previous
It's
years,
definitely the major motorsport, and IndyCar. I don't know. It's all the top teams have already got all the top people. So where are you going to get these people from?
I mean, Penske brought the sport now, so that's the amount of power he's got.
Usually, when you go into a championship like that, you buy up the best people.
Yeah.
But you ain't got the money. That's why you go into America in the first place. You haven't got the money to go out and buy the best people.
And I think that's what McLaren struggled with when they moved over to the IndyCar.
We're seeing Verstappen out on track.
Oh, he's just gone
right?
second.
And without Newey, where would Red Bull have been today?
Precisely, yeah.
Right? Because...
Albon's gone top. Sorry, that surprised me. 1:34.26. That did surprise me.
Albon topped the last
practice one. He did,
practice one. Yeah.
Sorry, that just surprised me seeing that. Because it's not a slippery circuit like in Turkey.
Albon when he's practicing hasn't got the pressure on him that.
Yeah, when it compared to race day. And qualifying, but yeah, back to your point. Yeah, you're right. It's all about getting the right people, and
I can't see how they can afford the right people when the mega bucks of the teams, Penske, and what's his name, Floyd,
Floyd.
Yeah, the one who
Oh yes, I know the one. What was it? We've got Andretti,
he's not the top. But there's a
Penske, Ganassi,
but there's also one, the guy with the big hat.
I know there is a Floyd, isn't there? I can't remember who it is.
And
you are correct though. Yeah,
like he's like the
big
Eddie
rich,
Jordan of things. He was seven IndyCar champion.
7 to his name. Yeah.
7 to his name. One of the biggest names.
AJ Floyd.
AJ Floyd.
That's it. Not Floyd. It's AJ Floyd. Yeah.
Yeah, and he can do it because of the fact that he has the knowledge of being a 7-time champion like Lewis.
Yeah.
And so he knows his sport inside out. The gentleman there to the left, Otmar.
Otmar Safnauer is on the screen at the moment, yeah.
Right? If you're going to go, you would have to try and prize someone like Otmar or the lad at McLaren back into IndyCar.
Yeah.
And you're just not going to do that. I just think there'll be... I honestly think they're just a non-starter.
Yeah, Ferrari and IndyCar will not work. We've got an hour to go.
IndyCar is dominated by Chevrolet, your mum's got one, and a Honda.
Yeah, the Honda. Well, I don't think we've ever had a Honda.
No, we haven't. No, we had a Toyota.
I tell you what, though, a friend of mine who does own a Honda Civic, which is basically the same type of car as that Chevrolet Cruze outside. I so want to see which one's the fastest. It's so tempting because even though one is an automatic, which is that one,
Your mum's car is an auto.
It can get the power down quicker, like an electric car can. So I so want to see which is the fastest. I'm going to have to see if they've done a time attack somewhere on YouTube. We're on board with Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time champion, secured that last time out. He is now, by the way, the greatest of all time because he's had more wins than Schumacher, he's had more pole positions than Schumacher, more podiums, more consistent races, more points. He has gone to the top ahead of Schumacher, but the level on championships. But he is the greatest of all time. Which Lewis himself, as you touched on earlier on in the broadcast right at the beginning, has been offered a knighthood for in 2021. So Sir Lewis Hamilton, the first British drivers since the two of Sir Stirling Moss and Sir Jackie Stewart, who were knighted. Jackie Stewart, of course, 3-time champion.
You said I should get knighted.
Yeah, I did. And Bottas just goes to the top on a 1:30.227. So the question is, Lewis Hamilton, he's accepting the Sir Lewis. Everybody has been quite critical of it online, saying that why? He's a tax dodger, doesn't even live in the country. Well, actually, it's all false, and it's all been put out by the media as being false because it's not true. Lewis Hamilton is in the top 5,000 people in the country who pays the most tax ever.
Yeah, he does actually.
He donates so much to charity,
just like Marcus does.
And just like Marcus Rashford.
And his Black Lives Matter style campaign, which is not Black Lives Matter.
It's all for him. Yeah,
it's about
he's on about equality.
Equality for all.
Oh, Grosjean's off the track. Sorry, got a yellow flag out.
What a surprise! Grosjean goes off the track.
He's actually lost it coming down towards turn 8, so we must have lost it backwards at turn 7 at the top of the hill, just after the Mickey Mouse section.
On a serious note, have you seen the graining on that tyre?
The dust has got to go back on.
He has flipped it. There's bits flipping off on that right-hand side.
Oh, on the front tyre as well. Yeah,
both front tyres.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So he's coming down the hill. Through 5, 6.
He's coming down the mountain.
Oh, he got understeer at turn 6.
He's coming down the mountain and he slides.
Yeah, he's coming out turn 6, loses the rear, skids across the track into the gravel trap, and he just rips up those tyres. Shakir is always this circuit.
Ain't he a singer? Ain't she a singer?
No, Shakir, this circuit as well. It is abrasive on the rear tyres. Yeah. It is a tyre killer at the back, and that is Charles Leclerc off at turn 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So the yellows are out. And
they're having trouble getting used to this track, aren't they?
Yeah, in these conditions. What were we going to say? Yeah, Lewis. Back to what we were saying about Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, Lewis at the moment.
Lewis deserves it.
Yeah.
Just for the achievement.
2 seconds. We'll just head back to Leclerc. So Leclerc coming into turn 1, gets the power on. Now flicks the car to the left at turn 2, hits the bump, and immediately loses the rear. That's a very unusual spin there for Charles. Just keeps it out of the gravel, but has to drive through it anyway to get back out.
Just to tell you, the Duchess will never be a real Sir because of the fact
Ricardo,
that they would have given it to Mark Webber.
They would have, yeah. They should have really. They should have. Yeah. But just to go back to the point, Lewis Hamilton as well, who is still vocal on the Black Lives Matter protest, but is in the past couple of months, as well as we've noticed, he's become more of equality for all. And he's really using his campaign for good. He's wearing T-shirts that I can't list them all because I forget them, and I don't want to list that and not forget some.
Yeah, on the things, it says, to be fair, that I'm a bit scared for the F1's future.
That's from Gromwin. Yeah, I think.
No, I'm not. The point I was trying to make was that MotoGP's audiences have increased this year because of the fact that there's not one dominating.
Yeah.
Right, and you take the main drivers out of this, and you will take years before anyone dominates.
I think that's what it sort of is worrying because we're going to have a bit of a confusing season where we're not driving.
Unless Poitier comes in and becomes if no one knows him, right? Take a look at him. Theo Poitier is about 17 years old.
Yeah. 17 years old.
So he can't actually come into Formula One until he's 18. Oh, look at that tyre.
And that's Grosjean's tyre. It's completely flat-spotted.
He's down to the canvas and ripped the canvas.
It has actually ripped the canvas. That's a complete off.
It's a wonder that didn't deflate.
I think the Pirelli tyres are a bit more.
One that's just come into my mind, who is a great prospect, is Theo Poitier.
Yeah.
Right? Because on his day, right, he's better than anybody in his category.
Came so close to winning the F3 title in Mugello.
Yeah, and like he's the most exciting driver to come out that since Nico and Lewis. And
He's in F2 this weekend as well, making his debut.
It's not just his performances. It's everyone goes mad about Verstappen and the overtakes and the things like that. But Paches does things so easily. Reminds me of Alonso.
He does, yeah. He's he reminds me of Alonso. He's got that passion and fire to keep racing.
And
early Alonso.
Skill.
Yeah. So, how are you enjoying this? Where's the action? This is the interview only. What on earth? I'm sorry, what are you watching? This is a watch-along commentary. This is basically what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, we talk rubbish.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an interview on. This is a watch-along commentary. So we watch the session. You go on. So we
Copyright
can't.
again.
Now that means we can't broadcast any of the footage.
Oh, I see.
That's why this is a commentary box.
We're trying to entertain you with the things that we're saying, with the knowledge that we've gained from all sorts of sources. And
right now, there's nothing happening on the chat because they're all on outlap.
This is practice one where you set up things, and Lewis is doing well. Bottas is second. We've got Verstappen and Albon. It's the animals are going 2 by 2. The animals, I mean, by the drivers.
The cows and animals go
right?
2 by 2. Well, it's Noah's Ark situation going on here at the moment.
And there's the wild animal.
I agree, Graham. Blame Formula One.
There's the wild animal on the screen at the moment.
Yeah, Daniel Ricciardo, the honey
I
badger.
love
Danny
Rick. And I think you've got to not take it as seriously
as everybody else does. Yeah,
as some people do.
Sergio Perez.
There is a big thing in football.
Yeah.
Right. And I taught my children this, and this is football is a game to you. And a job for them, right?
This is their livelihood.
You should be passionate about the team you support, but at the end of the day, the only thing that affects you doesn't affect your life. What they do.
Yeah, this is literally they are racing. This is their world. They breathe. They live it. They eat, sleep, everything. This is completely.
And I do like the people like Lando and Saintsy who have a laugh with it. And Danny Rick is the star of that. And we call him the Honey Badger, and we call him the Duchess and things like that.
I've had that name for a while, actually. I've just remembered.
If you're talking about Formula One and improving Formula One, you've got to have drivers like that.
Yeah.
The serious ones just you make it boring, because half the ones that are really, really serious are not any good. They're just... They're just championship, not premiership, right?
It's a weird combination.
Lewis has a laugh.
Yeah.
Sebastian has a great laugh. Sebastian is
he's come alive, isn't he?
Sebastian, they say German people don't have a sense of humour like the rest of the thing. What a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
I used to watch a lot of German TV, and German TV is very much about fun. They still do the beer keller type things. They still have the parades and the things like that. It's just a different sense of humour. But Sebastian has a very English sense of humour. He loves English.
Fawlty Towers.
Yeah, he loves Fawlty Towers.
Yeah.
And others, and he loves watching English sitcoms. I mean, after all, he's been around Britain for a long time.
He lived here, didn't he?
Yeah, he lived here for
Red
years.
Bull. Yeah,
when he was at Red Bull. And
Sebastian's come alive in the past couple of years. He has honestly.
He's cheeky, don't you think?
Yeah,
I think, especially when a certain Channel 4 lady was around.
Lee.
Who I don't know if you know, but Lee used to ride those horses.
Yeah.
Dressage style in Germany. What, Lipiano?
Something like that. With Michael. She did it with Michael.
And she used to do it with Michael Schumacher, which a lot of people don't know. Right?
They did a feature on it back in BBC.
Which means that, and she was with a certain German driver at one point as well, and he's very, very close to her, right?
Yeah,
and he's very, very cheeky.
What was it? 2012 was it when he was in the forum? Yeah, he was in the forum, wasn't it? Because BBC went and did the forum show on the Silverstone stand at Woodcote, but they had to get over there, which meant that Lee and David Coulthard had to host part of the show. So Lee interviewed Sebastian Vettel, who had finished third in that race, and Webber won, if I can get that out. But he did say, "Are you coming to the party tonight? Are you going to wear that little red dress?" And then she said, "Okay, anyway, moving on." So yeah, Lee often gets.
And if you want to talk about dresses, Mana from Sky Italy,
who's the only one who has her own wardrobe on site.
Yeah, but Mana's dress at the Monaco tour was literally gorgeous.
Walked past the TV compound last year.
I mean, we know Mana is gorgeous, but you know. She's a bit of a tomboy as well, and when she gets dressed up in her finery for a thing as big as the ball at Monaco, right? Wow! When she walked in,
was it Gasly
actually
and
George
Ricardo
Russell was George Russell was actually doing holding a camera and being for Rachel Brooks and doing a favour for Rachel Brooks and holding the camera, and he nearly dropped the camera when Mana walked in.
I mean, what was it? I walked past the TV compound last year testing pre-season as well, and that's just testing. There was no F1 coverage that second week I was there. They didn't broadcast week 2. So I walked past the TV compound. They were only doing reports back onto Sky Sport Italia on their news channel.
Yeah.
And you could see at the Sky Italia box that it was literally bulging at the seams because all the dresses were there and they were lined up in big plastic bags. It was unbelievable.
Where was the co-commentator?
That was 4 days.
Co-host.
Davide.
Davide, the other girl.
Mana.
No, Mana's the one we're talking about.
I forgot the name now.
Frederica,
that's it. Yeah, Frederica.
And she's a jeans and boots girl. And talking of boots, the girl from Argentina. If you ever see a girl with a bushy skirt on, even whatever the weather, and big cowboy style Argentine style boots, that's her. And
I think we've all got to watch out for Kai Obel, who hasn't actually been at the Formula 1 races recently.
Do any of you know who Kai is? Right, Kai, we know because we used to watch him.
Yeah,
and Kai is an ex-world championship boxer, and
joined F1 in what late? Was it late?
Yeah, and he's an F1 fanatic, and he presents RTLs. He's Ted in RTL, and
boy,
Simon,
does he rivals
Simon,
Eddie. Yeah,
and the thing is, he's outrageous in his dress, right? He will wear yellow trousers with a spotty shirt, and. Sorry, Josh.
I know.
And
I'm sort of disappointed with my fashion statement today of the trousers again. I know. But I do agree with you completely. Kai Abel, the maddest dresser in Formula 1, especially that Eddie Jordan hasn't been with
and
the coverage this year.
We have 3 cars on track, including Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
Sainz and Norris, the 2 McLarens, are out there. They're quite spaced apart, all 3 of them, but we only have 3 cars on track at the moment.
Hamilton's the other, coming up towards the hill at turn 4. As I said, this first session is really going to be testing for everybody because it's not going to be till free practice 2 later on this afternoon where we really see
I think the people of Bahrain,
pressure.
The organisers of Bahrain are quite happy the fact that you can't fill the grandstands because of the fact that it's such an anticlimax after Turkey was possibly the best race of the season.
I think it was, and we've had some classics ones this
year. It was certainly
year.
one of the best races Lewis has ever done.
Yeah. He what was he? Where did he start the grid? Was he 6th or 7th? And he was
and he didn't really come
in.
into his own until halfway through the race. I really, really enjoyed Turkey.
I think
and not just for Thanksgiving. I had sausages actually for Thanksgiving.
That was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Great parade.
We watched it on Macy's.
Yeah, we watched it on NBC4, New York.
I saw a bit of it. I was busy doing the other things with the F1, getting it all ready. But I saw Santa walking down.
Yeah. Santa in the Macy's Day Parade.
Looks so much like Richard Attenborough.
Which is 34th Street. Macy's is in 34th Street. And the Santa this year, they managed to get the real Santa.
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, he looks just like Richard Attenborough.
It was unbelievable. I was actually thinking, wow.
He is, and honestly,
Mrs. Claus was there as well.
Macy's have a factory, a design factory, and that make these floats and these balloons, and it takes them all year.
It does, yeah.
You know, I know the New York State and the New York City give money to Macy's to help with the parade from now on. They have done for the last few years, right? Hopefully that'll carry on. Because it's such an American institution. It started in 1924. My dad was 18 months old, right? And for America to have that sort of thing must have been absolutely fantastic.
I mean, it was fantastic yesterday as well.
Sometimes we go quiet or halfway through a sentence, it's because we have not as bad as Crofty does, right, who has about 9 people in his ears at once because they have 9 spotters around the track telling him what's going on.
But we have our radio coming through our ears.
We have the radio from the cars, and that has just happened.
So it just pops into our ears, and then we relay it back to you. I must just say,
it bounces around in our heads.
Yeah. I must just say, a special congratulations to the BBC F1 radio team, which today are broadcasting from not just 2 different locations, but actually from 4. We've got Jenny Gow, who is in her home in London, Andrew Benson, who's in his study, as well as back at the IMG studios in North London for Jolyon Palmer, but Jack Nichols, the best of all, who is in Valencia for the Formula E testing this weekend. He's commentating actually from the Valencia track.
Oh.
So he's doing what Ben Edwards did and commentating at a different track where a race is at.
Well, you can do it from that. The one thing this pandemic has shown is that it's car door. Is that nowadays you can do quite a lot of things you never ever thought of from different things.
Yeah.
And it will revolutionise. I mean, we used to have this with IndyCar when Sky tried to do some commentary with
a couple of years back, didn't they?
Yeah, and
it didn't really work that well.
It didn't really work because they were using the American commentators as well, so the timing wasn't right. But
I think I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I've got one. It's all right.
See you later.
Just having to throw the keys out to people who've come into the box. But yeah, back to IndyCar. Yeah, they tried to do a broadcast over it a couple of years ago, and the timing was always wrong, and they came in at the wrong point, and it just didn't work at all, as you were saying. But I noticed that this year's Indy 500, they got it right.
It's like NBC Gold.
Yeah.
Will show you the entire race without adverts. And if you watch NBC Gold, you will realise that...
which we do because we get it on Sky Sports F1.
Yeah, but NBC Gold, as you say, Sky actually show the whole race. And, you know, when they come back and they put in these little inserts, they actually run them to make sure they're all right during the break.
Yeah. So I know, because I've had to do the
really
commentary over them. It's also because at 1 minute they'll go to an ad break, and then because I do the commentary on it as well for different things as well, as you know, I've done it this year, and so during the break, because there's nothing on, I have to start commentating non-stop, which is it's all right, it's easy because I was already doing it, but when it's only you in the commentary box, it does take quite an effort. So you start talking on the pictures of the race.
There's the mysterious man.
That's fantastic. Who's just on the screen. But yeah, so you've got no graphics on the screen in IndyCar because NBC take them all away.
Yeah.
So you're having to look at all the cars and dart your eyes between 4 different monitors looking for the timing positions. And then all of a sudden, there's an overtake. Say it's on an oval and it's going right round the outside. And all of a sudden, they'll pull away and they'll go to an above shot and run a graphic. And then you've got about 3 seconds to shut up before Lee Diffie starts talking. So it does get quite tricky.
The only thing you can say about Fantas, which is different to all the others, how they're just rerunning it.
They are rerunning that position now with Lewis.
About Lewis and...
Yeah, Fantas saying that you shouldn't earn more than $10 million a year, says the drivers. And Hamilton was asked about the salary cap. And Lewis has asked, who's that? Yeah, Lewis didn't know who he was.
Says I don't know him.
Yeah, we were just hearing that back in our ears as well in the broadcast. We didn't know him.
Franz Tost is very quiet. man compared with some of the other team principals. But he's been around a very long time.
Oh, extremely long. Longer than Lewis has actually been in the championship, has Franz Tost been around. Franz Tost took over Toro Rosso in 2006. Lewis came in 2007.
Where I was wondering whether or not Lewis is making the point of the fact that Franz is not actually really in charge.
Yes, I don't think Franz is not in charge. He doesn't think he has a voice either on the panel, does he?
Because of the fact that they are owned by Red Bull.
Yep.
And Dr. Marco oversees everything.
And Dietrich Mateschitz, of course, the
boss.
big boss.
Yeah, and then you get Christian.
Yeah.
Before you get to Franz.
Yeah, what is
Franz has to take orders from 3 or 4 people above him.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, it's Dietrich Mateschitz, Helmut Marko, Christian Horner, then it's Franz Tost right at the bottom.
You do have the situation with Toto that Toto can do virtually what he wants because he actually owns part of the team.
Yeah, and he is the boss. Unusually, he's his own boss.
And in the next few years, if the way that Mercedes want it to happen, then I'm not just talking about the racing team. That
he's going to take over.
He will take over everything, right? Because he's absolutely. Mercedes think he's a genius, and
he
he's
is.
not.
Yeah, I agree.
We think that Nicky has taught him
everything.
It's like getting a very talented person and getting the best in the world to teach you your job.
Yeah,
and that's what Nicky's done with Toto, and Toto is now the best in the world at what he does.
And he's 7 championships down the line. He can certainly prove it as well.
Yeah, and he's.
Oh, hang on. Danica Kvyat's just gone off the track. He's gone off at turn 4. Yeah, Danny, we went out track limits at turn 4, so the lap is deleted. Yeah, Michael, get rid of the bleeping track limits.
I know
Danica Kvyat replies with.
I know that quite a few people who listen to this by the comments we get are Ferrari fans.
Yes.
Right? Now, Ross Brawn is the only person I can remember who spoke and Ferrari listened. Every principal they've had before Ross, even back to the same guy that runs, Star Trek's husband.
What?
John.
Gene Roddenberry is...
No.
Where are you going on here?
The captain from Discovery. His wife's on Discovery.
John Todd. And Michelle Young.
Right.
Todd. I was wondering where you were going there.
John Todd.
Georgia. Right? Yeah, I know.
Right. His wife is on Discovery.
Yeah.
And John Todd was able to say things, but he had to get the approval, and sometimes he didn't get it. Whereas Ross Brawn could do no wrong, just like Toto can.
Yeah.
Right? When he says, they respect when Ross Brawn said at Ferrari, I want this, and we're doing this that way, it was done because they respected him. Right? I don't think anyone's respected any team principal thing. DeMacari,
he lost it, didn't he?
Yeah, he lost. He had that and then lost it.
He lost it because of all the Alonso Massa situation.
Because there was a bigger ego around.
Alonso seems to have that every single team he goes to.
Yeah, and I feel that Ferrari, haven't got that at the moment, but they could have, and that's the thing, right? He is starting. Some things are happening in the background that you probably have heard, right? But some things he is doing in the background. He is virtually going above Ferrari's head and going to Chrysler Fiat and getting done what he wants.
Yeah,
and I think that's why you've seen an improvement in the team, because all of a sudden everybody in that team is starting to work as a team, right? And that's the reason you've got a bad car, just like Williams is a bad car, right? For a top 5 team, right? Ferrari have got the worst car.
They are just 6 points behind, battling for 5th of the championship. That's not good enough.
Yeah,
Ferrari.
And he's got them. I wasn't a fan of him. I thought he was a little boffin and he wouldn't be able to do the management side of it. But he is.
He's getting better as he grows. I think
the guy before him was so rabbit in the headlights type thing, that he wouldn't talk to the media.
And then the one before him as well, Matteo, whatever his name was as well. I think they really went through some really bad ones as well. Matteo lost Alonso as well, which was the problem. We've got a yellow out the circuit.
And also, if you fans, right, have you noticed that the Ferrari colour has come back? I'm just watching it on track.
Oh yeah, the scarlet colour's back.
The scarlet colour is back, whereas they had changed the red. Right?
Yeah.
Now, that red is synonymous with them worldwide. The marketing people at Ferrari must have gone, what are you doing?
Yes. Go back to what you need to be.
Give us a pizza.
Oh, I could do with the pizza in the commentary box right about now.
I couldn't.
I haven't eaten.
You
can't eat cheese.
in my life.
You can't eat cheese, though.
I can't eat cheese.
Yeah. Yellow third sector.
I've got loads of things wrong with me.
Verstappen's just had a little
One of
off.
them's my mouth.
Yes. Verstappen's gone off at the last corner. He's got
'cause
back.
I've got another piece of paper. Memo from you.
Yeah, shut up. Verstappen at the last corner. That's
Do
interesting.
not tell jokes. Do not do
Hang on.
impressions.
Verstappen at the last corner has just done a complete 360
Yeah.
and quite similar to what we saw in the Formula 2 this morning. As soon as you get on the power at the exit, the curb, the outside curb just catches you and spins you around. Look, exactly
Let me tell you about him. Right,
Verstappen,
right. He did it in the last race in Turkey.
He did, yeah.
Twice.
Yeah, Raikkonen spent
Right,
round and
he has this ability to, as the car's turning, know exactly how much brake
Yeah.
and to get that car facing forward. It is the brake. It's not the accelerator. Right. You put a little bit of acceleration on as you go into the spin, right, to give you the momentum. And according to Max, you then quietly use the brake.
Yeah.
The way he described it was brilliant, and everyone thought, that's not that simple.
Trail braking.
I'll get back to your memo. Do not interrupt me when I'm talking.
Rain in the last corner, we're just being told over the radios. Verstappen went 360 in the last corner, but got it going again.
Do not look cuter than me.
Sorry, Gwen was saying 360 Verstappen is her new nickname for it. Yeah, I agree with you there.
Do not use any of my childhood nicknames.
Hang on, just use 2 seconds as well. Sad that Kvyat's going politically. I realise, is that because the Red Bull inside have got rid of him, or has he said something political in terms of politics of government?
What, in Russia?
Yeah.
As far as I knew, he was very much...
I don't think he said anything like that, is he?
He's very...
I think...
he led the campaign for not kneeling.
Yes, he did, yeah.
Yeah, because in Russia, there is
only kneel when you're praying to God and proposing to your wife, is what was said. Yeah.
Whereas there is a different reason, right? And it's we're not going to talk about that. Because
politically, yeah. Oh.
Potentially.
Oh, sorry. It came up on our monitors politically.
Sorry, the rest of you in the rest of the world won't know, but Joshua should have gone to Specsavers.
Well, hang on. I've got my glasses here. It came up on my monitor as politically. I'm going to have to put... I'm short-sighted, sorry. Oh, now I've put my glasses on, I can read it.
Can you see it now, Joe 90?
I can, yeah. If I put my glasses on, I can read that. Yes, it's potentially.
Actually, that was your brother's nickname, Joe 90.
Yeah, he had the suitcase if Joe 90 was a puppet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Kvyat going potentially.
Same as Thunderbirds.
Yeah, Kvyat said that he's looking very much unlikely that he'll have a seat for next year in Formula One. And that is a shame because I think he's come back into his own in recent months.
But will that lad ever be out of work before he wants to retire? I doubt it.
Test rides left, right, centre, I presume.
Like Van Dorn.
Formula E.
Like Van Dorn, whose father-in-law is Jill de Ferran.
Yes.
Right? Who is very big in IndyCar and got a lot of mates and things like that. Got him the Formula E job. Right?
And he was just off the championship, Van Dorn.
Right. He's got a Formula One world champion as a father-in-law. Did I need to give it yet?
Yeah. That's PK, that is, yeah.
Yeah,
Nelson PK.
Yeah, I didn't think anyone didn't know that Nelson was his father-in-law.
Just wanted to put that
right.
on there.
He's got brother-in-laws, wife's cousins, all in Formula One, and all has been in Formula One and background things. Just ask Alonso about Daniel's brother-in-law. Did a big favour for him once.
Very big favour.
Drove into a wall for him, didn't
I
he?
know, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Hello, Ribosome. What have I missed so far? You're asking the good chat. Well, absolutely nothing.
You have missed quite a few jokes from me.
That's it, really. That's the only thing. Basically, this is the first practice session for a night race, and he's taking part in the day, and the track is ever so slightly
So
damp.
it's the technical side
Yeah.
that is being done out there.
Yeah, so everyone's basically doing a test.
We've said about the fact that Lewis should be not taking his foot off the grass.
Grass? Well, he
Grass.
should take your foot off the grass
Gas.
if he's in the wrong place. Yeah.
I mean, Lewis had his famous minestrone soup.
Oh, there goes your sound guard.
Yeah, Lewis relaxed when he got home to Monaco.
Yeah.
Game of tennis with his dad.
Lost it.
On the night
Yeah.
he got home, he had a bottle of wine and minestrone soup.
Oh, good point, actually, from Grosjean. Yeah, Romain Grosjean, I think we're seeing a replay of now, actually. He's had a tyre
we were saying,
blow
how
up,
did it,
really.
How did it not go flat? Or
Yeah.
did it? Because
He's
if
lost
you
again.
this is Grosjean again.
Locking up down
right?
turn 10.
And that
Yeah.
front left
Same problem.
ended up with
Oh,
all the
hello.
way down to the canvas.
He's going very slowly now, and the car was sort of bouncing down the circuit, and I think he's got some floor damage. If it's the floor damage that's affecting it, maybe that is why the braking's going.
Yeah, because I
it is
think
again,
there's too
like
much
you say.
downforce on that car.
Yeah, that has not looking comfortable at all.
Yeah, if you look, it's the
Yeah.
air scoop. The air scoop underneath is
Looks to have fallen
virtually
out, yeah.
touching the floor.
And yeah, the car's now slowly going in, so Grosjean's in a lot of trouble again. So great timing, Grosjean as well. You seem to be cursing Grosjean. But yeah, he's coming in now ever so slowly. But the problem that we see with Grosjean is he had that tyre problem coming through turn 4 on 5. Just lost the rear and flat spotted the tyres, and he was a miracle to get back to the pit lane. Verstappen's done a 360. Hamilton's top on a 129.033. That's it.
Anybody watching this on Sky have just seen Charles's. They put in big red letters what Charles
Yeah.
said once. So he made the mistake, and Sebastian overtook him and got the podium.
That was last time in
In
Turkey,
Turkey.
yeah.
You know, it was so funny that he virtually gave up
Yeah.
and then realised, no, there's nothing wrong with the car. Get
Let's
on
go.
with it.
Go for it, yeah. He locked up, didn't he, at the hairpin at turn 14, then went through.
Yeah, but
Perez got through.
He did a 30-second radio broadcast. Well, that lost him 30 seconds of
Yeah.
getting on with it.
And he says, I'm so stupid, just like in
Yeah.
Baku, he said, yeah. Yeah.
Danny Rick would never have done that.
No. Pirelli tyres are in use for FP1 and 2. They are, well, they've got to be in use, thinking about it, but they are the Pirelli 2021 tyres, so they're the test development tyres in use, which is a perfect time to get on with it.
I remember them using them a few weeks ago. And
Yeah, where was it?
and they used them
Eiffel.
as the tyre which you have to give back after 3/4 of an
Yeah.
hour. And none of them like them. So hopefully
No.
they've gone away, redesigned them, and come back another day with something that works better.
Perez has been
No
told.
rain in Bahrain.
Yeah, Perez has been told on the radio no more rain expected for the next 27 minutes, which is great news.
We would like to apologise to anybody who has actually turned on thinking you're getting a sunny day.
Nope.
You'll have to retune to Sesame Street because it's dull in Bahrain. And I agree with some of what you're saying, that things like Grosjean's tyre blow-up have been the highlights of this session.
Yeah, the lights have come on. Now,
That and my jokes about Joshua.
the one aren't they funny? Just question. Look, I mentioned at the top of the broadcast that it was that dark in Bahrain due to the cloud cover and the dampness of the track. They've actually had to turn the lights on in a day session of FP1. Have you noticed that? Because if you look above with Max Verstappen right now,
Yeah,
the track lights are on.
Yeah, that's how that just shows what I'm saying, how overcast it is.
Yeah,
But you know,
I love
even
it.
in deserts there's rain.
There is always, yeah. Well, we had it last year in Abu Dhabi. It was, last half of the race. That was confusing. This is the last 3 races of the year then. Where are we? Bahrain and Abu Dhabi.
Riverson.
Yeah, we said that, yeah.
Yeah.
That was just the testing.
And about the testing.
Yeah, they're just the tyres testing.
Yeah, it's coming up to the stage of the season where everybody is getting ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, and there is a subduedness about this paddock today.
Dead rubber races. That's what they call them.
Yeah, I think we should send Johnny Herbert down. Where he's
Live
not
at the
here.
ball. No, Johnny's not here. You've got Dill instead, the champ, Damon Hill.
Yep, he's my brother lives in Guildford. And you know,
They've been
that's
locked
where
down.
that's where Damon's lives.
He's been locked down, hasn't he?
He's been locked down,
So he couldn't come out.
which you know, not being able to play golf must be.
I presume.
You know, I know he's got a big garden.
Yeah, he could have done it. Yeah, Damon Hill.
Damon, will you stop hitting that tree?
Murray Walker probably came round for a pizza.
Yeah. Meow, meow. And he spun. Hill spun.
Megan would at this point grab him by the throat and going, he's lost it.
He's lost it. He's lost it. He's out of control.
Megan is with us.
Pizza advert
Yeah.
for Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut advert, yeah.
Just after Hill spun and lost the championship.
Megan will be back with us tomorrow for free practice 3 and qualifying in the race. I tried to get her in today. However, unfortunately...
because it's later on in the afternoon.
She
She might
wouldn't-
be back
yeah.
from school.
She wouldn't come in.
She's got exams.
Yes.
Mock exams, and anybody knows what's going on in this country. Her mock exams could be her real ones.
Yes, so she's taking them very seriously.
She takes everything seriously.
Yes. So Megan will, the next session's on, what was it, 2:50 UK time, start of 3. So she'll be back by then, but she told me in no uncertain words, go away.
Yeah.
But something, she was not coming in the commentary box for practice 2, even though she's in the house, so that's annoying.
I did think of another question, and I can't remember it.
You have a think
I
of
thought of 2 more jokes, and I can't remember them ever.
Well, there's thank God for small mercies. Giovinazzi is just on a slow lap on the soft compounds. Everyone else diving into the pit lane as well. Cars are coming out the track. Hopefully you can see the running order on your screen. It's Hamilton, Bottas, Perez, Sainz, Gasly, Verstappen, Albon, Stroll, Kubica, Grosjean, the top 10. Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Kvyat, Ocon, Norris, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Vettel and Latifi and Nizami down in 20th place as we see Toto Wolff watching on. And that's Toto on the pit wall.
Yeah.
We never usually see him on the
Toto
pit wall.
is inside. Maybe it's because in Bahrain the
Pit
pit
lane's a bit
garages
smaller,
aren't like other tracks. I mean, hospitality isn't either. You know.
Yeah, this is a flyaway race.
They are one of the flyaway races that provide the hospitality so that it doesn't have to be shipped over.
And that's exactly what's
none of
happening
the
now,
big motorhomes here.
Which is a shame because this is our first real flyaway race of the year. Oh, Giovinazzi saying I've lost gear sync.
Well, that can be that can be to do with the steering wheel.
And they'll have to make a change.
If you've honestly lost gear sync,
let's have a look.
Then that's an ECU problem. And
he's downshifting quite late, isn't he?
Yeah, it's the steering wheel.
Yeah, so they'll just change that over and get a new steering wheel put on for the
it just needs reprogramming, doesn't it? It's just a glitch. He's
going very slowly though, so he is stuck in 5th gear as well, trying to keep going.
Well, Michael Schumacher won a race stuck in a gear.
And Senna won, of course.
Senna did, yeah.
6th gear, he was stuck in it. Brazil.
Won't talk about 5th gear because they're rival to top gear, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Ricciardo's just jumped up to 9th place on a 1:35.08.
Isn't one of the presenters the
Tiffany Dell?
No, the girl presenter.
I knew you were going to ask me that. And
isn't she Prince Charles's stepdaughter? I think she is.
Could be.
Yeah, Camilla's daughter. Parker Bowles. One of the Parker Bowles?
Could be. I'll double check and get back to you in free practice 2. Sorry, took it across you, but one of the Alfa Romeos lighting up with the pit lane almost span and hit the medical car.
In Formula 2 this morning, you had the situation where one of them got just to the red line and stalled it. And the mechanic was able to just lean over from the red line and restart it. Right?
Not allowed to go over.
No, he didn't. The machine didn't go over the line, so it was okay.
Brilliant, because you're not allowed to go over the red line in the pit lane. Yeah,
he was so lucky.
So these cars, the Formula 2 cars, usually have restarters, don't they?
Now most of you are on adverts. There's just 5 cars on the track. Gasly is just coming up to behind Norris, and Ricciardo's on his own in the middle of nowhere. Kvyat is just he's not going anywhere near as fast as Gasly. In fact, Ricciardo, Giovinazzi and Kvyat aren't really taking it. They're just on an outlap type thing, and they've really been caught really fast by Norris, followed by Gasly.
One of the cars has fallen off the track at turn 12, which is nowhere. It's Ricciardo. Ricciardo seems to have
Ricciardo's
stopped.
off, but he's on again, isn't he?
Yes, he's come back now.
on again.
So Ricciardo, I think, has had a spin at turn 12 because it came up as a red square on the time monitor.
Any of you who've got one of the driver trackers, and we have 2 here.
Yes.
And
or 3 technically.
Yeah. And one of them, when the car goes off, it just vanishes.
Yeah, just disappears completely. If you
Which I think could be better if you could actually leave it as stationary.
Yeah.
And then we would know instantly without looking to the timing screen without having to work it out there.
Who stays on the track, yeah.
Or listen to our ears and listen to who's
radio messages.
radioing.
Yeah, I completely agree because it's very confusing for us all.
We've also got this nice graphic here, which is too graphic-y.
Yeah, it's
right?
the...
All you need is basically the track layout and little dots. This has got the little dots, but like the track's yellow and Ricciardo's yellow.
Yeah, so you can't see because it shows different sectors.
You know, you really have to stare to find. You're virtually looking at where his name is rather than thing. Whereas Gasly and Kvyat are blue.
It's very
and then they
sector, you can't see him.
The different sectors are different colours. And the first sector is yellow, the second sector is red, and the third sector is blue. So
you can't see that much.
The only way it's useful is when like Ricciardo and Kvyat are at the moment. They're in the middle sector.
So you can see that they're there.
In any moment now, Kvyat's car is going to go round this bend, up through the S, right, up to the final corner, to the big corner, and it's going to vanish and we'll just have the name because it's blue and blue on blue. There he goes.
Can't see it.
Can't see it. It's now blue on blue. So
they've got to fix
these
that.
people. I mean, this is so technical that you can even see it's got the pit lane.
Yeah.
And everything about where all the runoffs are and things like that. Well, that's useful if
someone goes off the track.
If you're a strategist that.
For us in the commentary box, it's not really.
You need it big like that.
I know we need to rearrange.
No more tellies.
No, we need to rearrange where they go like that one there, that one there. Yeah, so it just rearranges the box a little bit. Gasly's been told on the radio, fail 10, fail. And the car doesn't feel that great either. So I think Gasly's going to come into the pit lane. But he's been told one more time out, then he'll come back in. So that problem, obviously, with Gasly is going to be easily fixed.
We've got a computer monitor doing that graphic and the laps.
The lap timer, yeah.
Lap timer. We've got 2 small TVs. One showing what we're broadcasting. One showing our version of the main one which we use for the driver tracker.
That's directly below our big monitor.
You've got the MacBook and the phone saying another driver tracker. The MacBook's telling us information from
just
somewhere
info
else.
From everywhere else, like other.
And then we've got the main where the camera is. We've got the main 40-inch
monitor,
right,
which shows us the track layout and everything.
Now you can imagine at the end of the day, it's like. Joshua is something like the man from Curry's coming out of his van.
It's ridiculous having to do all this. And then adding the bus mixer as well. Well,
I forgot one. Well,
the good thing with the bus mixer is you can just unplug it.
We've got the tablet.
The iPad in front of us,
The iPad in front of us.
That's our main monitor for
which I can't see because I'm 59.
That's why you've got that one and that one. But yeah, we've got the iPad's our main monitor. Yeah, got a frog in my throat.
59 and diabetic.
Yes. And cloudy eyes.
Not good for your eyesight.
I was going to say cloudy eyes. Well, I'm going to fix all that soon, so don't worry. Going to get everything sort of in sight. We need a bigger table as well. That's why we're all hunched together so much. It's quite a big table.
Look at this. Standard 4G. Standard 4G.
Yeah, you can't see, can you? I had too many screens, says Riverson. Well, let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 monitors that we keep an eye on. And Megan's got 8 because Megan's got another one. She brings in.
You know, MotoGP have been doing this for BT from the BT Tower in London, and they had 4 monitors each with a glass partition between all of them. You know, so each of them had 4 monitors.
It's quite massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a massive setup, and when you've got the fact that they clown around as well.
he's surprised that nothing ever gets damaged.
Yeah.
Graham asks, have you ever watched the race through the official F1 app coverage? No. We don't get it in the UK, but we have seen. We've done a couple of sessions on the Pit Lane channel, which is unlimited.
Yeah.
But that was the plan actually this year, to watch the races on the Pit Lane channel because they're uninterrupted and clean. However, Sky F1, we don't get it on our broadcast package of Virgin Media, so that's gone to mainly Sky Sports, so we don't have the Pit Lane channel. So we have to rely on Sky Sports' broadcast pictures, which is in 4K, which is okay to look in the commentary box. However, they do go ad breaks in practice, which is why we have another 7 monitors.
Yeah, including the driver trackers that allow us to continue talking, and we talk a load of rubbish.
Yes, so we've never seen the F1 app coverage of Pit Lane channel of Alex Jakes.
Oh, well, we have seen them. We've seen it,
but we've never heard Alex.
And when I was inside, because you dragged me out here.
Oh, you had it. Yeah, you had
dragged
it.
me from a warm bed in Maine to this
cold box.
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, the Sky coverage I have, as well as has the Pit Lane channel. Yeah, I think we're with Virgin Media, and we get the Sky channels, but for some reason we just lost it.
We can get the. I've been on them.
Oh, hang on, 2 seconds. Leclerc's just got compromised by Gasly at turn 14. Leclerc went off the track and he just put his hand out the car saying, what on earth are you doing?
I think the thing
you
about...
You get the Pit Lane channel, but we can't get it in the box.
I think the thing about Sky's coverage on the red button is that I've seen it.
You've seen it, yeah.
You know, Johnny can't reach the buttons, so, you know...
Bit different, isn't it? But this is it. Leclerc coming to turn 14, comes to the inside. Gasly's just sort of parked there going a bit too slow.
You are currently watching a replay from inside the car. Now, if you like that thing, that's it. But it doesn't give you a representative of what's going on in the track.
Yeah.
All it gives you, it's like Sky's football coverage when you press the red button.
Yeah.
Right? You can pick a part of the stand you want to watch from. Right? And anybody who's actually been, which is virtually everybody, to a football match, will realise that you only get the view from that position. So you your analysis is only about that. So you need to be able to see different camera angles and different shots to make a good enough analysis of what's going on. And
ideally, my ideal commentary box.
I'll let you into a little secret, right?
Go on.
All right.
Oops. Leclerc just saying, "What the hell are you doing over the radio?"
Yeah,
to Gasly. Yeah,
to Gasly.
Back to you.
Right, I'll let you into a little secret. Sky don't really use their Pit Lane channels and things like that.
No, they don't.
No. Right, the whoever's doing the Sky Pad is possibly the only one that looks at it. Sky have.
Multiple TVs
they have
like
staff,
we do, yeah.
They have multiple TVs. They have staff who are watching one camera position or one thing, all shouting into Crofty's ears.
Yeah, but it's
what's
very
going on. Someone stole a bit of footage.
Yeah.
From Sky. I don't know how they got it because it was never broadcast. And it was. Do you remember last year when Lewis decided at the last minute to go in for the pits and went over the grass?
Yeah.
Right? And
that was at Germany, yeah.
And Crofty was amazing the way he did it. But if you ever see the footage of Sky's actual broadcast footage, including their own in-ear
stuff, yeah. Oh, yes,
right?
yeah.
There was literally 7 people shouting at Crofty at that time.
I don't know how
did he do it?
Yeah. Crofty was able to keep it calm.
Because he was calm and he did it right and things like that. Right, I actually thought at the time as he pulled his ears off.
Must have, and
because it was like everybody in the class trying to shout at the same time.
And he's got to pick his way through it as well.
The Pit Lane channel is supposed to get the viewer closer to
the action. Yeah,
the action. But
I do suggest
does
you go
give
watch
a blinkered view if you're concentrating from one position.
Yeah. I do agree though. Go and look at what you were on about, Dad. Last year, the German Grand Prix, the director's feed, and that goes into Crofty's ears. Go watch on YouTube, and F1 put it on as well.
How many times in football have you seen the people behind the goal, right, when there's a shot at the other end, cheer as if it's a goal? Everyone else in the stands who are higher up, no, it's gone past.
Yes.
Right? But the people behind the goal can't
yeah,
see
that is
the other
line.
goal that well.
Yeah.
You know,
so you
it's a
think it's gone
blinkered
through.
view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My idea, as I say, my ideal.
One thing I do
Go on,
like
back to you.
about the pit lane channel is the red button channel, is that you get what we've got here
on one screen
in a
yeah.
small thing.
Yeah.
Like, you get how many laps, how many tyres, what tyres people are on. Like at the moment, Gasly,
Yeah.
Vettel, and Leclerc, and Kubica
All on.
are all
soft.
on the softs,
Yeah.
right? Which gives you are then able to make up in your own mind. Oh, well, they're on the softs. Are the softs doing well at this track? Oh, they're going to be these. It's
Yeah. Compared to 7 monitors that we have to have, they have
we
one.
always talk
Yeah.
about Megan.
Yeah.
No, he said Kellyanne.
You
my
just
other
say
daughter.
nearly. Yeah, the other one. We always talk about Megan.
right.
Megan.
This iPad has got all the deltas and all the
Sector times.
times and everything and the positions and last thing tires and things like that. And Megan is amazing. She will just when she's leaning forward like this, she is looking at that, and to everyone else, it can be like
What's going on? Yeah.
too much information. To her, she can see what's happening with what's going on this screen.
Yeah, sector by sector. So
Sector.
she doesn't even need to look at the monitor.
I was
to
very
know.
proud of her when Lewis' engine failed
When
about
was it?
4 years ago,
Yeah.
right? And she was only about 11 or 12, and she was doing that, and she told Joshua
Something was up.
because
yeah.
I was listening in the
Yeah.
other in the room, and I was listening what was
Yeah.
going on because I can hear them both, and she told her there's something wrong with Lewis's car, and she actually got that
from the timing
before
monitors,
3/4 of the team did.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden
There
on the
was 3 members of the team back at, is it Brackley?
Brackley, who saw.
Who were going, ha.
What's that? Yeah.
Look at
that, it's
What
gone,
can that
yeah.
be? What can that be? And then you know, because they could see what Megan was seeing, that on the statistics that were coming up, that Lewis had a problem.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, yeah.
it went bang before they could tell him, right? But you know, you have to actually just get this to be able to read this.
That's why
like she does.
Yeah, that's why
and like they do at Brackley.
It was very annoying actually because before we started doing the live streams constantly, Megan wasn't always in the commentary box, and she still isn't for every race. But you often weren't in the box either. You were watching in the different room on the race control channels.
Well.
As well, but I had to do everything.
Well,
so thank God we had no Comcam
the comment on there about the fact that she only has the live tracker and things
Gwenwyn, to be fair though, I only have the live tracker for the time lap on race channel and the live map. Just a small reputation of the drivers, really. Yeah, we need
the
something
F1,
different. Yeah,
the FIA one, the F1 that form.
It's fun.
Yeah. Their thing that we've got here on the right. You're glad you haven't got that.
Yeah, that's their pure data feed.
That is too much for anyone.
Yeah.
That is too much information.
Yeah, we've got
this one what we've got here, as I said, you have to be somebody that's keyed into it like Megan.
Yeah.
To actually read it well. And Tennant used to be able to do that really well, didn't she? Rosanna. She was very good at that sort of thing.
I tell you what, this is making me go. Join us for qualifying tomorrow, of course.
You can tell how bad it is on this practice.
We've done
session,
nothing else. We're talking about the box.
Talk about anything else.
Yeah. So join us for qualifying.
Lewis is clearly not backing off.
Yeah, join us for qualifying tomorrow, and we'll do a little feature. I'll record it at the end of the day, and I'll go through everything in the commentary box.
Not another one of his little features.
Yeah. So join us in qualifying for build up, and I'll go through what we all use in the commentary box and show you how everything works. Because I did say, you only see the flags, and us two. You cannot see the 7 screens in front of us that are showing the information, plus all the stuff that's behind. So join us for qualifying.
Just that'd be boring.
Nah, it won't
You
be
just
fun.
told them that's all they need.
I know, but I'll show them.
That's all they need, you know, Joshua.
My show, they can join. But yeah.
Oh, God, this is my show, not yours.
Oh, well.
As soon as you invited me in, I just took over. It's my personality.
Yes.
I've got multiple personalities.
My ideal commentary box would be to have 2 40-inch monitors side by side, one screen showing what's on now, the Sky Sports main channel for the world feed, and the other screen showing the pit lane channel, as well as all 4 timing pages that we have dotted around the box. And then you've got the desk completely clear to have the laptop and your iPad open for notes and that sort of thing. So I would rather have 2 big monitors.
Since you got the camera, I've wanted the puppets, but you won't let me have the puppets.
And the monitor that's directly below that you'll see tomorrow, have that featured with all the little squares of all of the cars as well. What does the T mean for Bottas's tyres? Test. It's test tyres. That's what the T means. So it is the test tyres. So they're not official compounds for this weekend's race. The T on the tyres means test. And that's why we've got on the monitor Hamilton's on the tests, so is Bottas. Same for Gasly, Verstappen, Albon, and I think the same for Leclerc, Vettel, Kubica, Grosjean, Magnussen, Giovinazzi and Kvyat are all out on the test tyres in the last 5 minutes.
That tracker also gives us how dry it says. It's dry. It's 26 degrees, and then
air temperature, track temperature 27.
Track temperature 27, and even in it's just too much information.
You know the monitor we've got for the actual computer in there, that 22-inch one. I was thinking of getting one to replace that because that's too small for anyone to see. I'm struggling and I'm sat a couple of feet away from it. Gasly's out on the track. So the track.
I think it's fine.
It looks okay, yeah. Megan likes it. She'll get annoyed if we change
I think
much.
it's too detailed, but I think it's fine.
A lap time deleted for Gasly at turn 4, track limit. Same for Kvyat a couple of seconds ago.
Gasly's now chasing down Sainz, isn't he?
Yes. On the track. Where is he? Kvyat's in front of him.
Yeah, it's Kvyat in front of him. But
and Grosjean as well, yeah.
I don't think he's... I think it's too much on track for him to actually.
Yeah.
You know.
All cars bar Verstappen and Vettel are out on the track.
No, there's someone in front of him.
It's Grosjean. Grosjean's in front of him, I think. Well, so have a look at that monitor. Yeah, it's Grosjean. Grosjean's in front of Gasly.
Grosjean's in the red now. We can see him. Yes. Now he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone now.
He's back into the sector 3, which is blue.
And they lap over each other as well on the driver track. I'm sure you find that on your channels as well. They lap over, so it's quite hard to see.
Sometimes they're not. You think who's there with them, and then you have to look down at this one.
And the driver track, it doesn't work.
This one will tell you.
They need to update that really so that we can see.
Have you noticed that we're getting a bit of shine on parts of the Red Bull?
Yeah, I've noticed that as well, and I don't know what they're up to. Whether or not they've taken off part of the matte paint in areas where they think it's not benefit.
On the nose.
Yeah,
it's on the top of the nose. Where have you noticed on the Renault? And I think it's a bit of an improvement on the Renault, right? There is 2 little.
Albon's just been told that's a good time for a fast lap.
2 little aero wings.
Yeah.
At the top of the nose now.
Well, double check. Yeah.
Is that why they've been improving things?
Red Bull, yeah.
No, I mean, look, you look there.
The Renault has also got it as well. Yeah, I can see the little cross section.
It's like they just
It's like a spanner, isn't it?
Yeah, it flows the air into the air intakes better. I don't think it's like that.
It's on the Renault. We're not watching a
but
Ricardo,
I know others have got them round about there, but I've never seen it on the Renault before.
I've never seen them on the Renault. I saw them on Ferrari before a couple of years ago. Yeah. Red Bull had them, of course. Red Bull had them back in 2016. So
it's like these little wings they have on MotoGP.
Yeah, just a little flick at the top of the nose cone. You're right. Good spot there.
Flicks the air.
It's like a nostril, really, isn't it? That's quite good.
And it's a downward one.
Yeah, so it's pushing it.
So it's pushing it downwards towards the air intakes.
Gwenwyn's just said, also for me, the pit lane channel is always out of sync with the current race, so I just close it. Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, although
that's to do, unfortunately, with the satellite.
Yeah.
Right. Try this. Right. Watch the news on Sky or Virgin Media, and then flick over to Freeview. And you'll find they're not in sync.
Yeah,
they're slightly behind. It's because of the fact that they on Virgin Media, although they're a cable organisation, they have to take their feed off satellites. So it's got to go up there, down there. And it's just milliseconds, but it just puts them out. You know,
like our Formula
it's
1
worse
coverage.
in football matches.
Yeah,
England are playing, and you hear a cheer from next door.
For instance,
then you know they're about to score.
Yeah. For instance, the timing monitor that you're seeing on the commentary box here over there is about 4 seconds ahead of our pictures in the commentary box. So our timing monitors that we look at is currently on 50 seconds, and that's on 57. So the timing monitors are 7 seconds ahead of the
Of what's
pictures we
going
see.
on,
Yeah.
which means the pictures are 7 seconds behind on Sky.
So what we do is usually Megan does it as well. She
There is
pauses it
also-
and restarts it.
There is also, unfortunately,
Yeah.
a situation where if something very dramatic happens, there is a time
To cut it, yeah.
to cut the show. Now, this has never happened on Formula One or most sports.
Yeah, they don't do that, do they?
But there was an occasion where Sky had to cut the show, and it was a live show.
yeah.
And because they have it slightly, they were able to cut off and not show the
accidents,
sight
yeah.
that you saw if you were on the normal channel.
Yeah. I know that they did it on 9/11 as well, didn't they? On their news broadcast.
That's what we
they
haven't
cut it.
talked
Yeah.
about.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we haven't
Where are
talked
you
about.
going on that one?
I'm telling you where I'm going on about, right? And Sebastian's been and Grosjean's been as bosses of the Drivers Association,
Yeah.
right? Last race in Turkey, the big mistake. And we picked up on
Oh,
it
yes.
straight away.
The flags.
No, the truck.
The truck.
The truck was still taking the car away
Oh, Q2, yeah.
in Q,
Yeah.
you know,
The TV
Q2.
spinning, yeah.
When things that should never have happened.
Yeah. Well, we got there in the end, yeah. So the Tiffy spun off the
You
track.
should not have one of them things.
Yeah.
We have forgotten. Michael Massey has started to take liberties.
Yeah.
Get it? Liberties.
Ironically. Go on.
Yeah. Michael Massey, and I blame him, he's in charge, right? Michael Massey should never have allowed the race or the qualifying to go on
Yeah.
when there's a digger-like truck on the track. We lost a Formula One driver because of that.
I completely agree with you. Yeah. It should never have
You
happened.
shouldn't just, it's been a few years, let's forget it. We've got a relative here who's on that track now,
Leclerc, yeah.
Leclerc. You know,
I didn't notice, but
I know
yeah,
Leclerc was very, very upset about
He was, yeah.
about seeing that big yellow truck
on the circuit again. yeah.
carrying that car on the circuit when they went round.
It's exactly what happened to Jules Bianchi. Just slid off the track. And Turkey, it was wet session as well. So,
It was the thing was recovering another car,
yeah, it shouldn't have
right?
happened.
And Jules came off the track and hit that truck so hard on the side
Yeah,
that and you couldn't see what we was just talking about the
They cut
different
it, yeah.
camera angles. You couldn't see Jules's car.
yeah.
It was only the fact that driver tracker Jules's car was,
It flashed, yeah. I remember commentating
Yeah.
at the time, yeah. That was
and his
awful.
alarm went off.
And it triggered the
I don't know
reds.
if you noticed,
Yeah.
but there is a G-force alarm on the driver's car and the car that over a certain G-force, it will go off. The alarm that on the driver has is if you're not getting telemetry about the heart,
It flashes.
it will
yeah.
flash and then flash red. And you know,
It's the only
it's what-
thing. Yeah.
there was the time before when George under the safety car span, you had people
Marshals,
sweeping the track as the cars went by.
And Stroll nearly ran
Now,
into one of the marshals.
excuse
yeah.
me, George behind the safety car had spun and violently spun,
Yeah.
right? So you've got people sweeping the track. What if one of the other drivers swung the other way and wiped out 3 or 4 of those lads that are doing it for free and are, volunteering?
To help
You
racing,
have
yeah.
a matter of duty to keep them
The
safe.
duty of care.
And that
yeah.
wasn't happen. And Michael Massey is supposed to be the guy in charge. right?
Yeah, he's come out as well. Vettel was criticising the stewards, wasn't he? And
Yeah.
Michael came out and said, in my opinion, in hindsight, I would have done it differently. Hindsight's a valuable thing.
Yeah,
That's what Gwyn's just saying.
he's got to learn.
Yeah.
Everyone knows he's got
Yeah.
to learn. But when things have already happened, we lost a marshal in Italy about 10 years ago.
Paolo
right?
Gislamberti.
Yes. And it's not as if he wasn't around himself then.
Yeah.
Michael Massey was a deputy then.
He was back in the
You know, he knows that happened. He knows what happened with Joel.
V8 supercars. He's
Yeah.
done many a V8 supercar.
I think he's just trying to be too much for the TV and not for safety.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, but
Graham was saying, please don't blame Miles guy, but that was a bad idea. And then she also goes on to say, I was actually mad that the pickup truck was still there. Exactly, not just the driver, also the volunteers. Yeah, a duty of care.
My Aussie guy.
That's Michael Massey. She's just, I think, joking that part. Yeah, she agrees with what she's saying. Exactly that it's there. Michael Massey, Australian, of course. But I completely agree with what you're saying as well. I think everybody's going to agree.
Yeah, but he's not Tassie. You see, you don't have
No.
to fight and the fire.
I think we need a reminder from the FIA saying that, look, we are not going to put anyone in danger, because it seems that standards are starting
Don't blame
to
my
slip.
Aussie guy. My
It's a
Aussie
joke.
guy.
Joke.
Yeah, I know it's a joke, but he's in charge of safety,
Yeah.
right?
Don't worry, we know. But yeah, I agree with you, Graham, as well. Not just the drivers, also the volunteers. Agree with you as well.
Exactly, I agree
Yeah.
completely.
They need to have a little bit of a situation where a refresh is needed. So hopefully we'll have more in Free Practice 2. Free Practice 2 will be a more crucial session for everybody as well, because we're under the lights and hopefully the track will dry out as well, but it's going to get colder. That's another thing as well. So let's go through the times. Lewis Hamilton is fastest at 1:29.033. Bottas is second. Perez third. Sainz fourth. Gasly fifth. Verstappen sixth. Albon seventh. 8th for Ocon. 9th for Stroll. And 10th for Daniel Ricciardo. The next page, Leclerc and Vettel. Go on.
I don't care if you're in Western. I don't care if you're in Tassie, Victoria, New South Wales. Start representing. We need to make Danny Rick a Duchess.
Let's get that happening. Leclerc is 11th, Vettel 12th, Kubica 13th, Grosjean 14th, Magnussen 15th, Giovinazzi 16th, Kvyat 17th, Norris 18th, Latifi 19th, and Roy Nizami in 20th place, 3 seconds off the pace, as you said, but he's only a couple off.
He's got the dress for
time.
it. He's got a
Danny
dress.
Ricciardo, yeah,
Danny
we've seen him
has
in Ricciardo, yeah.
I've seen Danny in a dress before on his social media.
Yeah.
And also, he looks good in shoes, although they're wet.
So, if I can get this working, because our computer's unfortunately
Shuey
frozen.
McPhee.
So, what's been your highlight of this session then, Dad? Because nothing's barely happened. Leclerc's span.
Well, I think the one of the things I've got from this is what happened to Grosjean and his tyre.
Yeah.
Which Gwenwyn pointed out.
Yeah. It's there, look. The tyre's sort of delaminated.
If
the
I've
back
said your name
and
wrong,
flicked
it's because I can't see it properly.
What if? So 2 seconds. What if the drivers get used to the new tyre, completely messed up their qualifying? That's a good point.
Yeah,
What
that's
if
a
they've
good
got
point.
used to the 2021s and now they've got to,
Then they could go on to the other one, yeah.
and it's not working? Yeah, that's
These
a
are
very
the
good
top
point.
20 drivers in the world.
They'll adapt quickly.
They'll adapt, but
Although, by
it'll
looking,
take
yeah,
a few laps. But yeah, it could. You could have a situation where, say, it's wet.
yeah, and
and
it's drying track.
You get
yeah.
a drying track,
Similar
and
to
you've
today.
got a few laps, only a couple of laps on
Yeah.
on a dry surface to make your fast lap.
Yeah.
She's right. Yeah.
That's a good point, yeah. We'll have to watch that in Free Practice 2. Expect a lot of running in FP2 later. Albon showing some speed, you say, as well, Graham? Yep, 7th.
He always does in practice because the pressure's off him.
8 thousandths off of Verstappen there, so that's a very good time, yeah.
And the thing that Christian and the doctor have a problem with is the fact that they know he's got the talent.
Yeah.
It's just nerves.
And hopefully with Verstappen spinning again as well, he keeps on that continuing. But really, as Karun's saying on the Skypad right now, it's a similar situation as well. That's a highlight, Verstappen spinning. Yep. It seems to be a case of spins.
No, I think, you know.
Oh, Albon spinning, yeah.
I
agree.
think I also Grosjean, and the most important thing we've got from this session, as people watching it,
Yeah.
is these tyres from Pirelli don't seem good enough.
Yeah. Both sides, both compounds. Yeah.
We had one driver with flapping tyres and
Yeah.
a great big hole.
And that was
we have
on
graining on 2 other drivers' cars
Yeah.
from different marquees.
There's Grosjean's behind
Yeah, just
Steiner.
look at
And
that.
they weren't the ones who the gravel trap either, because they would have been taken away. So I completely agree with you. Yeah, the tyres seem to be an issue once again with Pirelli on both the 2021 and 20 tyre compounds. That's going to be interesting to see.
It hasn't been a good year for Pirelli.
Oh, nicely done. I like that one. So we'll be back at 2:50 UK time for the second practice session. As well, check your local times for when Formula 1 will be on, and then just take 10 minutes away, and that's the time we'll be on air. As well, Bottas also semi-locked up as well.
Locked down.
Locked up as well, the next down. Says Growin. Yeah, Bottas having a few lockups down in that tricky turn
Bottas
10.
was locked down with his new girlfriend, actually, and living near Silverstone.
Tiffany. Cromwell. There you go. And that name came off the thing.
Tiffany Cromwell.
Yeah, that's her name. Cyclist. You might remember. She does the Tour de France as well, I believe.
Yeah.
So we'll be back in a couple of hours' time. We're off for some lunch. I'm off for breakfast, actually. I haven't eaten this morning. So join us later on at 2:50 UK time.
And I'm off my head.
You always are. We'll be back later on. From us all here, though, bye for now.
Bye.